Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where we dive into true crime stories with heart and hope. Today we're tackling a mystery that's haunted the internet for over a decade. Imagine a 28-year-old guy on a dream vacation with friends laughing under the Bulgarian sun. Then, in a heartbeat, he's sprinting for his life, abandoning everything and vanishing into a field of sunflowers. This is the story of Lars Mittank, a German tourist whose bizarre disappearance has left millions asking what happened to him. Lars Joachim Mittank was born February 9, 1986 in Wilhelmshaven, Germany. An only child to Sandra and Joachim Mittank, he grew up in Itzehoe, a small town north of Hamburg. Lars was the kind of guy everyone liked. Tall, about 5'9", with a sturdy build around 185 pounds, he had short dark hair and a warm smile. He worked as an engineer at a power plant, a job he'd just been promoted in, showing his knack for fixing things. But his heart was with soccer. Lars was a huge fan of Werder Bremen, a German football club. He'd pack into stadiums with friends cheering until his voice gave out. When his dad had a stroke a few years back, Lars stepped up big time. He drove 100 miles nearly every weekend to help his mom, Sandra, care for his dad. Most guys his age wouldn't do that. To his family and buddies, Lars was loyal, kind, and always ready to make you laugh. In late June 2014, Lars was buzzing with excitement. He and 5 close friends had planned their first big trip abroad for months. They picked Golden Sands, a beach resort in Varna, Bulgaria, known for its cheap drinks, all-inclusive hotels, and non-stop party vibe. Sandra was a bit nervous about Bulgaria's reputation for tourist scams, but Lars brushed it off, saying it'd be a blast. He'd been saving up from his job and was ready to make memories. The group landed in Varna and checked into the Viva Club hotel right by the beach. For days they lived it up, swimming in the Black Sea, hitting clubs like PR Club, and dancing until dawn. Lars was in his element, cracking jokes and leading the charge on the dance floor. His friends said he was happier than ever. But on July 6th, 2 days before their flight home, everything changed. That night, Lars and his friends hit the nightlife district in Golden Sands. After drinks at a club, they stopped at a McDonald's near the beachfront. What happened there is hazy, but it turned Lars's trip upside down. His friends said a group of local men, possibly Bayern Munich soccer fans, started arguing with Lars. Soccer rivalries can get intense, and this one boiled over. Lars later told his friends 4 guys jumped him, beating him up. He said they left him with a sore jaw and a ruptured eardrum, but some friends thought it might have been a smaller scuffle, maybe just 1 or 2 guys. Nobody's sure because Lars didn't want to report it to the police. He told his friends he was scared of trouble in a foreign country. Bruised and shaken, Lars went back to the hotel trying to shrug it off, but the pain in his ear was too much. The next morning, July 7th, Lars went to a local doctor in Varna. The doctor examined his ear and confirmed the ruptured eardrum. He prescribed an antibiotic called cefprozil to treat the infection and gave Lars a serious warning. Flying home with his friends the next day could be dangerous. The cabin pressure might worsen his ear injury or cause permanent hearing loss. Lars took it to heart. His friends offered to stay with him, but he insisted they go home. He didn't want to ruin their trip. They hugged him goodbye, promising to check in, and Lars moved to a cheap hotel called Hotel Color near Varna Airport to recover alone. His friends flew out, leaving Lars in a strange country with a sore ear and a growing sense of unease. Things started to unravel fast. That night, July 7th, around 9 p.m., Lars called his mom, Sandra, from his hotel room. He sounded rattled, not like the happy son she knew. Speaking quietly, he said the hotel color felt off. He told her the front desk clerk had photocopied his credit card when he checked in, and he was worried about fraud. He also complained about noise in the lobby and unfamiliar faces hanging around. Sandra could sense his anxiety. She later told German TV his voice was shaky, like he was watching over his shoulder. Lars asked her to block his credit card right away. Then he said something that chilled her. He whispered that 4 men were following him, trying to rob or hurt him. He thought they might be the same guys from the McDonald's fight. He begged Sandra not to call back so his phone wouldn't ring and give him away. Sandra's heart raced, but she followed his wishes, blocking his card and waiting for his next call. Around 11 p.m., Lars called again. This time he sounded more scared. He said he'd heard footsteps outside his room, like someone was lurking. He told Sandra he was hiding in his room, afraid to go out. She tried to calm him, urging him to stay safe until morning. A couple of hours later, around 1 a.m. hotel, cameras caught Lars pacing in the hallway, looking agitated. He left the hotel for about an hour before coming back. Nobody knows where he went. Was he checking for danger? Or was he too restless to stay put? When he returned, he called Sandra again. His voice was barely a whisper. He said the men chasing him were closer now. He sounded desperate. Sandra asked what was wrong, but his phone battery was dying, cutting the call short. During these late-night talks, Lars texted Sandra about the Cefprozil pills. He'd taken 1 or 2 doses and asked what was in them. Was he worried about side effects? Or was something else clouding his mind? Early on July 8th, around 4 a.m., Lars called Sandra once more. He was still at the Hotel Color and sounded terrified. He said he'd been hiding in the hotel to avoid the men he thought were after him. He told her he didn't trust the place or the people around him. Sandra begged him to get to the airport as soon as it was light. She booked him a flight home for that afternoon and a bus ticket as a backup. She also sent €500 through Western Union to cover costs. Around 6 a.m., Lars texted her asking if it was safe to leave for the airport. Sandra said yes, urging him to go now. He grabbed a taxi and headed to Varna Airport. The taxi driver later said Lars kept looking out the window like he was checking for someone following him. A young woman sharing the ride noticed Lars seemed jumpy with wide eyes, as if he was scared. At the airport, Lars texted Sandra, "I just made it to the terminal." He sounded like he'd made it to safety, but that feeling didn't last. Lars needed a doctor's note to fly with his ear injury, so he went to the airport clinic to see Dr. Kosta Kostov. He dropped his backpack and travel bag on the floor and sat down, but couldn't stay still. Dr. Kostov checked his ear and said it was healing fine. Lars was cleared to fly, but he was acting odd. Kostov later said he was nervous and erratic, asking over and over if flying was safe. Lars also said he didn't trust the Cefprozil pills. Reports suggest he'd only taken 1 or 2 doses, not the full prescription. Was he reacting to the medication, or was something else going on? During the exam, a construction worker walked in wearing a high-visibility vest. The airport was under renovation, so workers were everywhere, but to Lars, this was a threat. He started trembling, muttering to himself. Suddenly he shouted, "I don't want to die here! I have to get out of here!" He bolted out of the chair, leaving his wallet, phone, passport, and bags behind. Security cameras caught him sprinting through the terminal, weaving past travelers and out the exit. He ran across the parking lot, climbed an 8-foot fence, and landed in a field of sunflowers 2 meters high. The flowers closed around him, and that was the last confirmed sighting of Lars Mittank on July 8, 2014. Hey, if this story's got you hooked and you want more true crime mysteries like Lars's, hit that subscribe button. This is my second video, and I'm just getting started. By subscribing, you'll join me as we dig into more stories of mystery, hope, and real people right here on this channel. Let's keep this going together. Sandra kept calling Lars, but his phone went silent. The €500 she sent went unclaimed. When she realized he was gone, she contacted the German embassy and flew to Bulgaria to search for her son. Bulgarian police searched the sunflower field and nearby forests, but found nothing. Lars's bags at the airport had his clothes, the Cefprozil prescription, and nothing suspicious. No drugs, no signs of a struggle. It was like he vanished. Sandra told reporters, "It's like the earth swallowed him up." At first, the police treated Lars like a runaway tourist. Sandra was frustrated by their slow response and limited resources. She pushed for more action, joining local volunteers who searched fields and woods for weeks. In 2015, a fundraiser in Germany hired private investigators, but they found no new leads. What might have happened to Lars? Here's what people talk about. One idea is a head injury from the fight. The McDonald's brawl left Lars with a ruptured eardrum and maybe a concussion. Medical studies say concussions can cause delayed symptoms like paranoia or confusion days later. Some think a brain bleed could have triggered psychosis. But there's no proof Lars had a serious head injury, and Dr. Kostov said his ear looked okay. Another possibility is the medication. Cefprozil wasn't approved in Germany, and some experts say it can cause rare side effects like anxiety or hallucinations. Sandra believes this might have affected Lars, but Kostov said Lars took so little, it's unlikely the pills caused his panic. Some wonder if Lars took recreational drugs in Golden Sands. Bulgaria's party scene in 2014 was known for drugs like ecstasy or amphetamines, which could have mixed badly with his injury or medication. But his friends said Lars wasn't into drugs and no drugs were found in his bags. Another theory is a mental health crisis. Psychologists in German media say stress from the fight injury and being alone in a foreign country could have triggered a psychotic break. Lars's paranoia about being followed and distrust of his pills fit signs of schizophrenia in young adults. A Reddit user shared a story of a friend with paranoid schizophrenia who ran from imagined threats just like Lars. But Lars had no history of mental health issues, and his family says he was stable. Could the stress of Bulgaria's tourist scams reported in 2014 news have fueled his fear? It's possible, but unproven. Some think foul play was involved. Lars told Sandra 4 men were after him. Bulgaria, in 2014, had issues with organized crime in tourist areas. Some wonder if the McDonald's fight was more than a soccer spat. Maybe Lars saw something he shouldn't have, or owed money, but there's no evidence. His friends said he had no debts and his bags were clean. If someone was chasing him, why let him reach the airport? And why no trace of a crime in the searched areas? A less likely idea is that Lars chose to disappear. Some point to him leaving his phone wallet and passport as a sign he wanted a new life. In 2014, rural Bulgaria had abandoned houses where someone could hide eating wild berries. But this doesn't fit. Lars had a good job, a loving family, and no reason to run. His cries of, "I don't want to die," show fear, not a plan. Surviving a decade without money or ID in a foreign country seems unlikely. Since 2014, there have been unconfirmed sightings. In 2016, a teen in Sofia, Bulgaria, said he saw a man like Lars begging on the street. In 2018, a truck driver in Turkey claimed to spot him, but nothing was confirmed. Sandra followed every lead, but they all went cold. In 2020, Germany's Federal Criminal Police Office listed over 12,000 missing persons cases, including Lars. His case exploded online thanks to the CCTV footage of him running. Some call him the most famous missing person on YouTube, with millions of views. People keep asking, was he running from something real threat or something in his mind? Sandra Mittank has never stopped searching. She's shared Lars' story on German and Bulgarian TV and runs a Facebook page to keep his case alive. In 2019, she appealed on Bulgarian TV begging for tips. She's worked with German missing persons organizations and keeps her email finditLars@web.dopen. She's stayed in Itzehoe, refusing to move in case Lars comes home. In 2020, she told a reporter, "Every day is pain, but I believe he's out there." Lars was more than a mystery. He was a son who called his mom even when scared, a friend who made every trip fun, a soccer fan who dreamed of watching his team win big. If you know anything about Lars' disappearance, call German authorities at +49 157 00896 or email finditLars@web.de. Your tip could bring Sandra the hope she's held for over 10 years. To Sandra, your strength is incredible. We're all hoping with you that Lars comes home safe. If you want to help share Lars' story, visit missing persons websites like the Charlie Project or Interpol's database. Keep his name out there. Someone somewhere might have the answer to this mystery. Thanks for sticking with me through Lars' story. If you love diving into true crime mysteries like this one, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. By joining our community, you'll get new stories every week that pull you in and keep you thinking. Your support means everything, and I can't wait to share the next case with you. Let's keep these stories alive together.